Unmute.
Unmute.
It's telling me that I'm being recorded. Who's recording? Anyway.
I just turned it on.
Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, I think that a 4-day work week would fit in with today's society. One of the positives of the COVID lockdown was that people got into family a little more. And so time with family would be more manageable if everyone had the 3-day weekend. A lot of, especially the 30 to 55-year-old age group, are doing remote working still, and they're going to that more so. And so the longer weekend, I've learned that those that work remotely actually put in more time. They're putting in more time working because they're up to, my grandkids are up, they're still working 10 o'clock at night on the phone, so, well, on the computer. So I think the longer weekend would allow them to let down some because they still are working at a high pressure rate. And so I could see it working. I think it would do well and give families more time together. And the longer days, fewer days for children in school would be wonderful on teachers. I think teachers need a break now. So I am in favor of a 4-day work week, fellow Toastmasters, and especially since it would be more of a rotating day. Not everyone would have the same days off. I would support that type of a move.
All right, all right. I'm going to ask that question to somebody else later on, because I have a particular question that I want to ask Bud. Bud.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. I was just looking at a book, a title of a book by Colin Powell. He wrote a book titled It Worked for Me. And it's a collection of life lessons. One lesson is get mad, then get over it. What life lessons, one life lesson would you pass on to Justin? Justin is the youngest one here. Do you have a life lesson that you'd like to pass on to Justin?
I don't think of it as a life lesson, but I like what Colin Powell has to say, and especially the part about getting over it. You know, whatever the problem is, but getting over it. I think that's people who we probably all know people who don't get over it. They hold grudges, and their lives seems to be just go downhill from it. I read stories here recently. I read a novel here recently, and one of the characters was born into a situation, and unfortunately took advantage of it, or it was kind of, the advantage was kind of pushed on him. And so his whole life, as it was described in that book, was a grudge thing. And so his whole life was miserable as a result of it. At the end, he not only killed himself, but killed other people also. But I think that would be a good lesson for all of us, to get over it. When things go bad, get over it and do what you can to make them better.
Yeah.
Fellow Toastmasters.
All right. Well, Justin, I want to get your opinion about the 4-day work week. You're a young person. What do you think about moving towards a 4-day work week?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, because right as you were asking it, there's something that came to my mind. That a high school teacher, like he was a very funny teacher. Like he always wanted to make the class feel at ease and not like a very serious teacher. He was a very, very good teacher, my high school chemistry teacher. A very, very nice guy. But he knew his stuff really, really well. And he had a bunch of random thoughts that he would like to share with us, just to like make us feel like we were more at ease, not feel like so serious and so tense all the time. He asked us, what if each week was like, you go to school Monday and Tuesday, you have Wednesday off, and then you go Thursday and Friday, and then have the weekend. I love that idea. You know why? Most people say, oh, Monday is the worst day of the week. I disagree. Wednesday is the worst day of the week because you're not halfway done. That half of the week is behind you, but half of it's still ahead of you. It's hump day. Wednesday is the worst day of the week. So I would love that idea. Yeah, it's a 4-day work week, but in the middle you have that day off to go and recharge. So every day is like Monday and Friday. So I would love that idea. And not quite 4 days in a row, but 1 and 2, day off, 3 and 4, and then the weekends.
I think I love that. I think I love that. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Linda, I want to come back to you. We had about 20-something students. One newspaper article said 20-something, some said 40-something, Jamaican students in Ukraine. And they had to get out and go to Poland. One young lady, I heard her interview, somebody interviewed 3 of them, but one was a young lady named Sabrina. Sabrina took her cat with her. She said, I've had my cat for 5 years. I'm not leaving him in Ukraine. But guess what? The government of Jamaica wouldn't allow her to bring the cat in because they said there's rabies in Ukraine. And she said, my cat has all its shots. This cat is my child. She used the word picnic. Picnic is a Jamaican word. So this cat is my picnic. I'm not leaving my picnic. And do you know that leave her? I don't know. I still don't know if she's stuck in Poland. They made her leave her. So Linda, what would you do with what do you have a dog? You have a dog, right? So if you had escaped from Ukraine to Poland with your dog who was your companion for 5 or more years, would you stay behind with that dog until the Jamaican government clean up their things?
Fellow Toastmasters, I don't think I would stay behind with the dog, but knowing my dog, Tasha would find a way out. She would be across the line and I'd be trying to get out because she would have gotten right away. Tasha does not like, she's a hot dog and she's going to go to safety. She does not like loud noise. As soon as the first bomb went off, the first shell hit, Tasha would have left the country. And so I would be trying to get to Tasha. and if it was a cat, it would be left behind no matter what.
I take it you don't like cats.
That would be a no-brainer if it was a cat. Tasha would already be out. I would find a way of putting her at the bottom of my suitcase or something. But I think she would beat me out of the country in doing that. And as a addendum to all of this, let me just say it's interesting to see how this is unfolding since when Ukraine got its independence. I was there during that last battle they had with Russia. So, well, it was Soviet Union then when they broke away from the Soviet Union. So it's interesting to see how things are unfolding now.
All right. What about you, Wayne? What do you have again? You have a dog there, right?
He's got a fluff ball.
Would you stay behind with your dog?
Yep.
Or would you leave it behind and head on home to the United States for safety? All right.
I don't think he would let me leave him. He would stow away in a wheel well and find a way to get in the plane to be with me. He goes everywhere I go, mostly. If he can't go in a store, he has to go. But if he can get in the store like Lowe's, he's with me because he loves riding in the grocery basket at Lowe's. And if you go to my Facebook page, you will find a post from last week, Monday, a week ago. He had gotten dirty. So I took him up to the pet shop and I had him bathed Monday. The girl who bathes him was going to bring him home, so I didn't have to make another trip because from the pet shop to her house is right by here. She said, well, you know, I have to go to Lowe's when I leave. I said, take him with you. He loves to go there. So I got the post on there. It shows a picture of him in the basket with an exploding heart. And the caption of it is chick mag. So I don't know. I know he's laying right here in my lap, just peaceful and calm. But I would have to say he would come with me or I would stay there.
Yes, yes. All right. All right. But I also saw something that this lady wrote, and I posted it on the Facebook page for our club, where this lady says, you are destined to be great. And she says, greatness is doable. Greatness is many individual feats, and each of them is doable. I had to even make sure I understand what she meant by feats, F-E-A-T-S. Accomplishments, it's many accomplishments, and these accomplishments are doable. So, but did you ever consider yourself as destined for greatness?
Yes and no.
Yes or no?
No, I guess no, mainly, but I'm going back to when I was in the 8th grade. Sometime during that 8th grade year, we changed teachers. They were the school was growing. We had a lot of kids, so they added an 8th grade, another 8th grade, and another teacher. And I got a new teacher, and it was Mrs. Swanson. I'll never forget her. And I always think back of what if. This is one of my what if things if I had done something. I remember one day I used to walk home for lunch. I lived right close to the school. And when I came back into the school, there was a path that came across there, and the teacher could people could look out the window and see kids coming there. And she saw me, and she called me into the room. And it turns out we were going to have, it was near the end of the school year, and we were going to have an 8th grade graduation party dance thing. And it turned out that our particular class was responsible for this part of it. So she called me in and she asked me if I would be the master of ceremony at this dance, this thing. And I was really shocked. I was shocked that she asked me, because she knew, and I was one of the shyest persons in the school, I suppose. But of course, I refused it. But I remember her saying, she was comparing me with some of the other kids, and she says, "You are." She didn't use the word destined, but she said, "You're going places. You're going to do good. You're not." It was. She didn't say you're destined for greatness, but she. I don't know why she had this attitude about me, and many times I think back, what if I had taken that's what she wanted me to do and been that master of ceremonies? Because as it turned out, she asked one of the girls in the class, who was a very popular girl, and I thought that she didn't handle it as well as she did. I always thought, well, here's the way I would have done that. But no, I don't know that I'm destined for greatness. But I look back on my life now, and I attribute Toastmasters to helping me in such a great way to be able to I mean, there was a time when if you asked me that question, I would have shied away from it. I remember, and I could go on forever here, but I remember Tommy Heron. You all remember Tommy, a member of our club. And Tommy, I don't know how he came into Toastmasters, but if you remember, Tommy, but prior to that, he stuttered. Like, he had a major stuttering problem and a major shying problem. And I remember one time he told a story about when he was in church. He would always sit in the back, and when they would call on him for something, especially maybe to lead prayer, when everybody bowed their heads, he would walk out the back of the church. That's how shy he was. He was not going to. I don't think I was that bad, but it was pretty close. And I said that to say what? I don't know that I'm destined for greatness, but I think there's some good things ahead of me. Yeah.
All right.
I hope, and I'm hoping that those things would not only be good for me, but good for people that I know, fellow Toastmasters.
Justin, I'm going to ask you that same question. You are destined to be great, says this lady. Greatness is doable. I guess she means achievable. Greatness is many individual feats, FEATS, accomplishments, and each of them is doable. Are you destined to be great?
Am I destined to be great? I would say yes, based on what's happened so far. I would say yes, but I can't take all the credit. It's how I was raised, yeah, especially because I was born and raised in South Florida, with much different culture than South Georgia. Way different. Not even in the same universe, and how kids are raised. So I was raised with a South Florida mindset. You either go to school or you go to school with a broken neck, or you go to school with burnt hands. There was no such thing as not going to school. The only way you got to go into school is if you were bleeding out of your nose and your eyeballs. And even then, they would send you to school for half the day. And then you have to go to the nurse and say, I really don't feel well. And then your parents will come pick you up. And they will get pretty mad about it too. That's how I was raised. And going to school in South Georgia, where all the kid has to say is, oh, I don't want to go to school. And like, okay, yeah, it's fine. School's not that important. I witnessed that happen so many times. I'm like, wow, we come from different backgrounds, don't we? But that is why I'm the one who graduated high school with my associate's degree. That's why my peers are still in their first year of college when they graduated with me in high school. So I can't take all the credit. It's how I was raised. But because of how I was raised, I would say, yes, I am destined for greatness, but it's because of how I was raised. So I give the credit to my parents for that. But to answer your question, yes.
Yes. All right. Well, the last one is going to be Wayne, because Wayne, I think you were here when Bud answered this question about Colin Powell. Colin Powell wrote a book titled It Worked for Me, and it's a collection of life lessons. And one lesson he has there is get mad, then get over it. And I wanted to know, what life lesson would you have to share with a young person? Is there a guiding rule that worked for you that you'd like to pass on?
I think that depending on what your attitude was when you were a child and how you were raised, how you were reared, you raise animals, you don't raise children, how you were reared, brought up, is an opportunity for you to change. I grew up always mad, always wanting to be right. I learned that you can't always be right. You can't always be mad. You have to change. Change took me a long time. I don't get mad. Maybe a little angry, but not mad. And I get over it immediately because I have a lady in this house that won't put up with it. There's no such thing as getting mad and having a fight. We don't fight. In 26 years, this is how many we've had. That many. That's less than 5 fingers on a hand. That should say something. But no, you have to be able to change both your thinking and your attitude and live with an open mind. Don't walk into a situation with a closed mind. Be able to think about what's going on around you and change it if necessary. So that's what I would let everybody know. You can change. You can change your attitude. You can't change your personality. Mine will never change. Everybody knows how I am. In fact, I just got reamed out the other day for my attitude by a Toastmaster from Tuesday night call. But she said it very nicely. And I spent 10 minutes on the phone apologizing. So I'm an adult. Don't talk to me like a child.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters, that was it for today.
Okay.
Oh, unmute, Linda. Are you trying to say something?
You're on mute.
That little magic button.
Sorry
There
about-
it is.
There you are. What were you saying?
I just wanted to comment that about the book. You said the lady wrote that said,
The greatness?
no, the way that I saw it, what worked for me?
Colin Powell.
Colin Powell,
Colin Powell. Mhm,
what worked for me?
mhm.
It worked for me.
It worked for me.
Yeah.
Read what I wrote down. It worked for me. I just wanted to comment that I wish more writers would add that statement underneath their title, because there are a lot of people that are putting out books now. That seems to be the thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're getting their PhD or what, but everyone is being published now. And the books, the way that they are promoted, say that give the indication that their way is the only way, rather than saying, and our young people are not really discerning that what worked for someone else's life will not work for yours. So you can't be like every rapper, every singer, every model, every, actor that's out there, because that worked for their lifestyle and who they were. And it goes back to, as Wayne said, the way that you were reared. And so you have to be diligent about the things that are important to you. I had to get the word in there. The things that are important to you, the qualities, and looking at yourself, reflecting on what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and saying, this is how it worked for my life, because these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. And you have to do that self-assessment in between. And a lot of people just put out these books and people are going crazy, like, they're trying it all. You can't cook every meal that Rachel cooks, okay? You can't, and you can't build every house like the brothers, So, but you can learn some skills or some tips from them to make it the way that you want, and to be comfortable with it. I just wanted to
Good job.
comment on that. Yes. Thank you.
Turn control to Wayne, a Toastmaster.
Well, thank you. My general evaluator is.
I'll do it.
Okay, then we're good right here because you got time to report that.
Yeah. I'll incorporate this into my timers report. But I wanted to do a quick demo about the technology that I'm currently in possession of. So I've had this. It's the iPad. I've had it for years, but I just use it as a regular computer. I have a keyboard attached to it, so I just use it like that. It's very portable. It's not as big as a regular laptop, even though it's not my only computer. When I don't want to carry much around, it's very useful. But about 1 month ago, you see, I hold tutoring sessions for some people that I've known for a little bit, and then. But I didn't really have a good method of doing it. I had this external camera, so what I would do is I would hold the external camera in one hand and hold it over my paper while I solved the problems. And my hand would get tired after a while, and people who I was helping noticed that. They said, you have to have a better way of teaching us. I'm like, well, I mean, this is what it has to do for now. They said, well, since we're not paying you, how about I get you a better method? I'm like, what do you have in mind? So they're going to say, oh, I found the smartboard type thing where you hang it onto your wall and you can like write notes on it. I'm like, I don't need that, and it costs about $200. I'm like, please don't get that for me. And so I said, well, if you really want to get me something, then how about you get this Apple Pencil? It's a pencil that it comes with your iPad. It's supposed to. It didn't come with mine because I just got the iPad by itself, and it costs a quarter of the price, so less than $80 versus the $200 thing that they're going to get me. So very quickly, I'm going to join from this iPad. Wayne, you better let me in.
In where? My Chromebook has one of those.
What's the meeting ID?
850-4815-4515.
They
I think.
got something. 8506-049-4515.
Hold on, let me type it in real quick. 604.
94515.
Could hear me unmuted.
Oop, oop, oop. I didn't mean to do that, sorry.
Is it a passcode now? Oh, come on. Swamp, right?
Swamp, yes.
Okay, Wayne, you see the request? Okay, there it is.
Okay, connecting to audio.
Okay, so now here's my evil twin brother on the iPad Pro going with me. So I'll show you what I can do. Do I have access to share my screen? I do. Cool.
Yes.
Start broadcast. Okay.
Screen.
So now can everyone see my screen? It says
Yes.
broadcast.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll show you what I can do with it. But while I've been taking note of the timers, I've been keeping time right here.
Ah,
So here are all the times from everyone that's spoken. And so I have these different colors. There's blue, there's red, there's black, or I can pick any color I want.
The tablet has the lines on it and everything like a sheet of paper?
You can pick this. I'll show you that in a moment. But you can have different thickness. Or if you don't like this template, you can go and create a new notebook.
oh,
You can
that's
pick
where,
from all of these.
that's where the lines come from, Linda. You
Yeah,
choose
but
a
You can
template.
pick a legal pad, a Cornell single column. You can pick all these, or if you don't like any of these, you can download your own from online and import it and pick one of those, like what I did right here. This didn't come with the program, but this is called an engineering paper.
Yeah.
This is what engineers use it to solve their problems because their problems get very lengthy. So this problem is probably about twice the size of regular notebook paper. So you can fit a lot more on here, and it's very structured. You put your name at the top and then the subject you're doing. So I use that a lot of times. And also, because of this, I never have to use paper ever again. I can save on paper. So I've been taking my notes with this thing. Here's my with material science, the class I'm taking right now. Soft lithography is what I've been doing, and I've been taking all these notes. And I never have to use a piece of paper ever again.
Wow.
And also, if I'm doing a lecture or if I need to show someone something, I have a laser. I can point to things, and it goes away the moment I let go. Here's a graph right here.
Mhm.
There's also an eraser if I want to erase something.
Yeah.
And I can redraw it whenever I want. Well,
Nice.
and there's also a highlighter. If you want to highlight something.
Wow.
You
Okay.
can also draw a shape. So let's say I want to draw a straight line.
Now, is that a program or is that the tablet itself?
It's a tablet itself.
Oh,
There's a program built into the tablet.
Oh,
And so if I want to draw a shape, I can draw the rough outline, like it's a very poor circle. It makes it on its own like that. Or a triangle.
Perfect.
Now, what type of that's what the Chromebook?
It's an iPad.
Apple iPad.
iPad Pro, I noticed.
I do all this pencil right here. I can do so much with it. And every semester I used to buy notebooks and do it with pencils, and like it gets heavy on your back after a while. You get tired of carrying stuff around. But now all I have to do is carry this around. And at the end, if I don't need these anymore, I can clear the page and start all over next week.
Okay.
So, Ms. Janisa, you were saying that the wonders of technology, very much the wonders of technology, and that I haven't even learned everything I can do. I can probably do a lot more than what I've showed you. You can even import pictures. Here's a problem I was solving the other day, a math problem. You can import this and then, okay, so here's the problem. Now here's how you solve it.
Okay.
So that,
Justin, Justin, can you bring back what you wiped off of that page?
I was just wondering the same thing. Yes, oh, there you go.
All right.
Man walks down the path. Is that the one you're talking about, Bud?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, the man walks down the path. The problem you were going to solve.
Oh, yeah,
We were all reading that real fast.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to see the problem?
Yeah, that's the problem.
A man walks along a straight path at a rate of 4 feet per second. A searchlight is placed on the ground 20 feet from the path, and it's kept focused on the man. At what rate is the searchlight rotating when the man is 15 feet from the corner?
Oh, please.
Okay,
I solved this problem yesterday.
I just wanted to read it. You solve it.
No, I have the solution here. I'm pretty sure. I never got rid of it. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, we just wanted to read it, right, Bud?
Oh, Lord. Cosine and all those stuff.
Yep, it's a calculus problem. It
Yeah.
wasn't really.
Oh,
It gets a lot harder than this. I'll say that. But
That was what we used to use a slide ruler for. Is that what we used a slide ruler for back in the day?
right. They don't use it anymore.
because you got this,
No, you got that, yes.
and so
And
yeah.
calculators with cosine and so on it, yeah.
Mhm.
And the only thing good about that is at your age, Justin, where you don't want to carry all that stuff around, that's great.
Great.
At our age, we don't need to carry all that stuff around.
We don't need to do the problems.
That's good. That's fascinating, Justin.
That was an amazing demonstration. Very good.
I think, go
Carry
ahead.
all my books home every evening and bring them back the next day. You know, being weighted down with all
It's a
those.
wonder anybody drops out of school when you got all the answers there. I mean, it's like you don't even
Oh,
have
yeah,
to go
yeah.
to school.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I always wondered, they talk about, pro and writing on the tablets. So thanks for the demonstration.
Sure. Yeah. And Ms. Janisa talked about the wonders of technology. I'm like, well, I want to show you a wonder of technology that I just became in possession of a couple weeks ago. Where's this thing been all my life? I've been buying all the paper and pencil for nothing when I can just have this thing. I've had this iPad for years, but I just got the pencil a couple weeks ago. Wasn't even that expensive.
In a whole new world now.
Oh yeah.